Hello, my darlings. Happy lunch. Happy lunchtime. I'm taking my little lunch break and just checking out what's happening online about Harry and Meghan, Meghan latest news. And it seems that Prince Harry's 3 point shot is still reverberating all over the world. All over the world. I mean, everybody's just talking about it, and now they're saying people are starting to catch on to what I think is very much what happened is that Harry and Meghan forced Prince Charles's hand with Lilibet's title. That was you know I don't know how you say it in sports language, but defense versus offense. That to me was offense. That's like being the aggressor, taking control, making your demands, and forcing them to defend their position, right? I mean, I don't play basketball, but I think that was a 3 point shot. Harry took a 3 point shot from downtown, you know what I mean? There was this. So yeah, they are definitely going to force Meghan and Harry to respond as quickly as possible to tell them whether they're coming or not. They want to put them on the spot because they're terrified. They're absolutely terrified of this coronation. They don't really know what the British people or certain segments of the British population will do. The two groups that they need to worry about, the Meghan and Harry supporters, which I think comprise a much bigger group than the media has let on and even the palace has let on, and the anti-monarchists as well. And I don't know how significant this group is and how big they are, but it seems that all of the king's recent public outings have been met by protests and egg throwers and people on bullhorns and signs saying, "You're not my king," etc. So if this is a precursor to the coronation, if I were in the king's position and certainly in Queen Camilla's position, I'd be very, very concerned. Very, very, very concerned. If you can reduce some of that tension with maybe making the Harry and Meghan supporters less unhappy, maybe it might be a good thing. But of course, you risk making the Harry and Meghan haters unhappy. So either way you cut this, it's hugely problematic for the palace, hugely problematic. But they have only themselves to blame. And I think in particular King Charles, because King Charles, as the head of this family and as the head of the Church of England, and as the head of state of England, he, as I've said before in earlier blogs or vlogs, has a heightened responsibility above just about anybody else in the world in this situation. And it is his unique job, I think, to unify everybody. And I think on that point, on that score, he has failed miserably. He has allowed himself to be influenced by factions in the palace and in the family whose agenda was anti-unification of the family, anti-acceptance of Meghan, and pro creating conflict and chaos in the family and in the country and ultimately in the world over this individual human being, because they don't really have a problem with Harry. They hate Meghan. That's just the bottom line, right? And why they hate this young lady, that's for them to say. But Prince Charles needed to be, I think, more of a mediator, and he failed miserably to do that. He let himself be played. He let himself be influenced. He let himself be pulled away from his role as head of state, head of the Church of England, head of this very complex family. And he played into the politics and alienated Meghan. So therefore, Meghan and Harry had to leave. This is Harry's wife, and the faction of the country and the world who support Harry and Meghan went with Harry and Meghan. So now you have a big mess, right? Because no matter what he does, his coronation could be an absolute disaster. It could be. Look, I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't, because it would be very, very ugly and horrible. But I think that if it is, he has only himself to blame, because he did not rise to the occasion as the monarch, as the head of the Church of England, as the head of this very complex family, to tell everybody, listen, look, whatever your personal feelings are, you're going to get them under control. You're going to get perspective. I am the head of this experience, and my entire family is welcomed. We are equal in this family. We are unified as a family. We present a united front to the world. And everybody matters in this family. Everybody counts in this family. We are one in this family. This was his job to say to everyone, starting with his wife Camilla and going all the way down to the totem pole. And then he needed to go out and talk to his population and quell their rages, quell their doubts about Meghan, quell their discomfort and dissatisfaction by finding the right words to say that showed that his arms were outstretched to his entire family, that he embraces his entire family, and as a consequence, the country would have embraced the entire family. Instead, he let himself be played by members of his population and members of his family to create a division in his family, and therefore a division in his country that is now very difficult to bridge, you see. And as a further consequence, his coronation could be an absolute catastrophe if he doesn't handle this correctly going forward. If I were him and I were advising this king, I would say that he needs to have a fireside chat with his people, with the country, with the world. He has some kind of interview coming up. He needs to quell these angers. Let the people understand we are a family, and everybody in this family is loved. Everyone is accepted. Everyone is in that group hug, and it's one for all and all for one. And we present ourselves to you as the royal family. We love this country, and we hope that you love us back, and so that we can serve you as a family. This is a family. And if he can't get that through his thick skull, and he can't communicate that before the coronation, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I don't think they understand the PR disaster that's waiting for them. He needs to speak to the country. He really does. And his mother did that very well with her Christmas addresses. So he can do it in a way that is not threatening and not divisive. I mean, he's a man. That's already going to be a problem, because they're completely clueless, aren't they? They just had all of them. They have a sensitivity chip missing. I don't know what it is. Speak of wars, they're ready, they got their weapons, this makes sense. But speak of empathy, and speak of bringing people together, and speak of peace, they have no idea what you're talking about. They have no idea what you're talking about. Well, guess what, King Charles? You better figure out real quick what I'm talking about, because otherwise your coronation is gonna go down like, boy, I don't even want to tell you. I don't even want to tell you.